I can't believe you're doing it.
I can't believe you're doing it, and I can't believe
talked
you
you into
allowed
this.
me to do it because I don't know what I'm doing.
I believe in you.
But this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Are you ready?
Yeah. So are you going to interview me? Is that what's going to
Well,
happen?
I'm going to interview you a little bit, and then we're going to have some questions from people watching,
Okay.
and we're just going to roll with it.
All right,
So
cool.
before we get started, I have to do the thing where I have to read something important here.
Yes. So pay very close attention.
We want you to know that you can pre-order a copy on CD, a signed copy from TalkShopLive, and it will come with Brandi's wonderful signed signature here, hand signed by Brandi, if that wasn't clear to everyone. Do you want to open it up and show them how amazing it looks?
Sure.
And there is also a limited edition white vinyl as well, so you can actually get both. Just press the shop button on TalkShopLive or comment the word shop if you are watching on Facebook or Instagram to receive a link in your DMs to purchase. And hi to all of our friends at YouTube as well. Just click the link in the description.
Hey.
And we will get to as many chat questions as we can. But just to kind of get rid of the elephant in this room, Brandi.
Okay.
A journalist I won't name recently came up to me and asked if this was a divorce album. So I just wanted to clear something up before people hear this album and the rumor mill starts. Are we getting a divorce?
No, cringe. Who's the journalist? Why won't you name him?
I'm not telling you.
That sounds to me like an Ann Powers question. But.
I'm not telling you who it was, but
Okay.
She was probably referring to a couple of songs on this album. One is called A Woman Overseas, and the other one is called Anniversary. And I'll just tell a quick story. When Brandi wrote those songs, she was off in wherever she was, and I was at home with the kids, and she texted me late at night. She texted me these demos. And she said, we'll probably need to talk after you hear these songs. So I heard them and I listened again and again. And they were so good that I didn't want to get in the way of the process. So I just said, we don't need to talk. Just keep writing. Because
you said these are your best songs.
They are my favorite songs. Yeah.
I think that speaks to your emotional depth and the fact that you're an artist and that we write based on moments in time, snippets, moments of doubt, moments of pain, moments of fear and anticipation. And those moments are just snapshots. We capture them. It doesn't mean that they're in motion. It doesn't mean that we carry them forward. But honoring the fact that the feeling happened, that it was fleeting, I think is a really important part of songwriting. Also, I've gotten into your phone and seen some shit you've said about me in your lyrics thing on your notes. So I know. Listen, we're just real married people. We are. With real life issues, loss, and the things that we struggle with in these moments of aging together. We don't need to share them with the world, but also why not?
I know, and people don't talk about it enough.
No, people don't talk.
It's always unrequited love, or the beginnings. People don't ever talk about the middle or the struggle, and I think it's so relatable.
People don't ever talk about the middle or the struggle. It's you get love albums and you get divorce albums, but you don't get real marriage, loss of parents, loss of identity, perimenopausal albums.
No, you don't get almost divorce albums.
No, yeah.
Just kidding. Look, moving on.
All right.
Okay.
This is going really well.
This is a more professional question.
Yeah.
This is your first solo album in 4 years. How did your collaborations with the incomparable Joni Mitchell and Uncle Elton John influence this album and your journey inward?
Well, it's such a confusing thing being in a brand called Brandi Carlile, isn't it? It confuses me, I think, more than it confuses anybody. So I guess I've made all solo albums, but I've sort of broken off into 3 parts as a person, as an artist, and attached to the twins in a way that I stand by. I've cast my lot in that way, and that's who I want to be and how I want to create. So solo album includes Tim and Phil, and there are parts of my job they would hate the 360-degree part of this gig, and I happen to love it because it's just what I feel like I was born to do. So Silent Days was a solo album, and by the way, I Forgive You is a solo album. It's just I'm one person that's three people.
And then in between that and now, you did an album with Joni and Elton.
Yeah, and then Tanya and Brandi Clark and just the Highwomen. Like it goes on and on in really profound ways where I'm aligning with other people. I'm wrapping my thoughts in my mind and my voice around another person's thoughts and mind and voice. And I just love that. I like thrive in that place and am tempted to do it every day, as you know.
So it was a discipline to like go back to another quote unquote solo album.
It was a discipline, and it still is. It still is.
You're probably already plotting your next collaboration, knowing you.
Yeah. It's so bad. Like I will like accidentally ghost all my friends and family, but like the one like little artist that I'm obsessed with, I'm sending them like 9-inch text messages about what I think they should do with their band and their tour and their record. And it's just like, I don't know, what do they say? Is that some kind of like is that a condition? It feels like it might be a syndrome.
You're just an outward looking person, an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you wanted this record to be undeniably and willfully you. What does that mean to you now at this stage of your career and life? What does it mean to be willfully you?
Willfully me? Well, we kind of covered it in that last question without even meaning to, which is just that for me, it's so intentional. Like I have to make a decision to put any blinders on and decide something without, not by committee. Now I always want to lead the committee, but I want the committee there.
Fair enough. I think it's working for you and the committee too. Just a little reminder to press the shop button on TalkShopLive or comment the word shop if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram to receive a link in your DMs. This would confuse me, so I think it's good that I say this a couple of times.
Yeah, keep coming back to it.
To purchase a CD with a signed insert, and there is also a limited edition white vinyl. We can't show that to you because we don't have it yet, but get both.
Yeah.
Should we go to some fan questions?
Yeah.
Those are always my favorites.
Are there more wife questions though too?
There might be.
Okay, cool.
So Samantha says you've mentioned loving Wrecking Ball for years by Emmy Lou Harris.
Yeah.
Is there a specific track or sound from that album that really influenced this one?
Yeah, they're actually all of them in many, many ways. But I would say that probably the track that's like always my North Star that I come back to over and over again sonically is Where Will I Be? I just think that is, and it's not just, it's Emmy's voice, but it's the lyrics. It's the things that she's saying. There's such naked things to say. And it's so spiritually beautiful. It's the drums and the ambience in that track really pushes the envelope of what is American roots music. And I think that that's really important. I think we come back to her as the founding mother of that intersection as often as possible. And her collaboration with Denny Lamois and all of her friends on that album. Like, people don't understand how many people it took to make Wrecking Ball, but the important thing is that it's the most Emmy Lou Harris thing Emmy Lou Harris has ever done. And I think that in the back of my mind is why I'm feeling so strongly about Wrecking Ball these days.
And that through line is the voice, right? That's the constant.
Yeah, it's her voice, and it's that the fact that it's different, the fact that it's a departure almost makes her more herself, because it shows you that like whatever you put her in, she's gonna be Emmy, like it's gonna be Emmy Lou.
Yeah.
And I love that she's just standing in that space, like with this gate where she's just holding it,
So cool.
Yeah.
Does she know that?
I tried telling her like recently, actually, at the Americana Awards. Like I was like, Emmy, and I mean, like I have been since I was basically a little girl walking up to Emmy, like going, Emmy, it's your old pal Brandi. I just wanted to tell you that, like your revolutionary album that everybody talks about all the time, Wrecking Ball, means something to me. So it wasn't like a revelation to her, but I don't think she realizes like how often I'm thinking about it. And also she was sitting there with Daniel Lamois.
That's
and they
uncanny.
were performing together, and the way his guitar sounded that night was like a whole entire problem. Like it was he sounded like God. It was crazy that it was coming out of this amp and it just sounded like the Ryman could barely handle it. It was so cool.
That's so cool. All right, let's have a look at Thomas's question. Thomas wrote, you seem to be really thoughtful about song titles, track listings, and from what we can see from the cover and the artwork for this album, you obviously care deeply about presenting something really beautiful in its physical form. How important is it to you that people still buy physical music? Good question.
I love that question. Let me tell you a story. When I was growing up in a small town, in this small town actually, in the Cascade Mountain foothills, I got Goodbye Yellow Brick Road on cassette as a gift. And the gatefold like of that, when you would unfold that thing, every song, I could even go get the vinyl for you and show you right now. Like every song had a piece of artwork that was drawn to sort of illustrate maybe what the song was about. Benny and the Jets had a superhero, and Sweet Painted Lady had like a sailor's girl. And it was this artwork was really important. And in these lyrics, Bernie Taupin is probably one of the greatest lyricists of all time, certainly one of the greatest storytellers of our time and any other time. And so it was so rich. The artwork for that album was so rich. The lyrics were so rich. And then you'd put it on and you'd hear the complexity of this otherworldly band, and then the one and only like Elton John. So how everything fit together in that batch of mysticism made that album something that was almost more than a 13-year-old girl could handle. And this is a 13-year-old girl in the 90s. So It's not like, it's not like it was that album was in its prime.
No.
And I was just mystified by it. And I had a little cassette player Walkman that I would take everywhere with me, but I couldn't take it on the bus and I couldn't take it to school. So when I couldn't take the album to school, when I couldn't listen to it, I would take the cassette anyway. And, it was my friend. I would unfold that gatefold and I would read the lyrics. I'd look at the artwork and I just knew I was different. And it just pulled me in. And one day, some mean boys, some asshole kids on the bus, they took my cassette from me while I was looking at the artwork, and they had brought a magnet to school.
I know this story.
They ruined my cassette. They pulled the tape out and they ran this magnet along it, and it ruined it. I never played again, or played so intermittently I couldn't listen to it. But like that music was already in here. So I had it. I could play it in my mind. I could never afford to buy that again, but not until I was much older. But I had that artwork, and it was like still having the album. And I think because I remember that as being such a weird little triumph, like I was like, they think they took it away from me, but I'm still holding it in my hands. That's how I feel about albums now. I think that what the artist intends for you to read and feel when you look at those photos and you read those lyrics, it's in the music, but it's also in that thing that you hold in your hands. Maybe it makes me sound as old as I am, but I don't care. Buy the album anytime you can.
It's my favorite way to listen to an album for the first time is to like get the lyric booklet and then press play.
Did you have an album like that where like the artwork was as important to you as?
Yes. I mean, Jagged Little Pill. That was amazing.
I remember everything about
all
that
Radiohead artwork is incredible. And I might be biased, but this is pretty gorgeous too.
I should mention that Catherine was a huge part of the art direction.
I mean,
on this thing,
I kind of led you to that.
It was sort of all her idea.
No.
Well, yeah, she just wanted this, like the concept of returning to myself. I think she just wanted me to look, well, kind of like how I look.
Credit to Collier Shaw, the photographer.
Super credit to Collier Shaw, the photographer, because this isn't a way that just anybody could make me look or act in front of a camera.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything about it was like Collier's kind of, what an incredibly talented photographer.
She's incredibly talented, and she was an awesome partner too.
Yeah, she was.
She like showed up a couple days early just to hang out and get the vibe right. And yeah, we're proud of that.
We could talk about her
We're proud of that artwork.
for a long time. Yeah. And we will continue to. Collier, if you're watching. Okay, another question. Christine is asking, what role did the twins play in the album, And was it a difficult realization for them when they learned that you wanted to approach the writing and recording process in a slightly different way this time? That's a great question.
Yeah. I tend to always be like 10 steps ahead of everybody in terms of direction, knowing what's going to happen, trying to present what I mean in an articulate and convincing way. You know, I have like a penchant for like having myself dialed in before I present an idea. This album was not like that. So they were coming to this realization at the same time I was. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say it was easy or comfortable for anybody to realize that I wasn't able to engage and write in the usual way. And that I was able to engage and write in a way that sometimes didn't include the twins. Mm-hmm. And, but the songs were right. And everybody knew that. And everybody was having to like acquiesce and make these changes and be fluid about like who we were going to be throughout this process, because the songs would come in and I would go, I don't know why, but this is like a poem and I'm going to play this on a Rhodes and tell me what you guys think, you know? Mm-hmm. And, or, hey, I don't know why, but Aaron Dessner played me this piece of music and this song came out of me. And so the nature of this album being different, coming together differently, just happened in such real time. Nobody had time to react in any way other than honestly. And I won't say that it was always easy, but I will say that especially as it pertains to the twins, it was always graceful. Mm. And the compass was always pointed true north, like with those guys, like it always is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
We love the twins. Okay, I got to do this again. Reminder. Just press the shop button on TalkShopLive or comment the word shop if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram to receive a link in your DMs to purchase a CD with a signed insert. Don't forget the limited edition white vinyl. Okay, more wife questions. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
You have said it's amazing how many people it takes to return to yourself. Mm-hmm. Explain what you mean by that. I think you kind of already have, but
with the Emmy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was like, you would say that template sort of applied to you, right?
Yeah, because I think people come together. This is going to occur to me as I'm saying it, but I think people come together in a collaboration where it's predicated on a project is predicated on collaboration mentality. They come together with, what are we going to make together? And as it, I think, became clear to everyone involved that I was in a significant transition in my life that I really couldn't articulate, the mentality became, how are we going to help Brandi make this album? And I saw everyone do that. Mm-hmm. And I learned so much about people, a new thing about people I didn't know. And I saw Andrew Watt do that first. And I remember the way we first started talking about making this record when we were in with Elton. And I had written You Without Me, and he was so excited about that song. He's like, this is the best song I've ever recorded.
It's a pretty amazing song.
He was like putting a mic in front of me in the middle of the night, and he was crying, and he was like, oh, and it was like such an amazing interaction that we had with each other. And he's like, we're going to make Rumors. We're going to make Rumors together. Fleetwood Mac, it's going to be Rumors. And I was like, yeah, let's make Rumors. The twins are going to love this shit.
Did you say Boomers?
Rumors, we're going to make Rumors. And I was like, let's do it. And then it was like, no, you're Tom Petty. We're going to make Wildflower. And I was like, yes, Tim and Phil are going to love this. It's going to be what? And so we just kept thinking we were like going in this direction, but like, you can't, like Rick Rubin told me when I first met him, you can't make records in your head. Mm-hmm. And I think it was at some point when the fourth or fifth Rumors, Tom Petty riff landed on my lap and I could not write lyrics to them. I think at some point it occurred to Andrew, this girl's really going through something. Mm-hmm. And actually she doesn't want direction. She wants a friend. Mm-hmm. And that was profound because he's really emotionally intelligent guy. And I just watched him just go, okay, I can't do this and I can't do that. Like, what can I do to help? Mm. And his guidance in those moments was the most I think, the most profound. And I saw the same thing occur to the twins. And I think Aaron is just built that way.
Right.
And so that was I think his assumption from
That's his approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that when Justin came onto the scene, he came onto the scene like a wrecking ball player too. It was that same thing that you hope for. Keep it down.
That's our kid.
You don't have to run in the house like that. It's not an Olympic track meet.
She sounds like a mini elephant. I was going to ask you about Andrew Watt and Aaron Dessner and Justin Vernon's. They're all listed as producers along with you. And I was going to ask you what they brought to the table, and obviously if they had designated roles or if everything evolved in real time. I mean, I was there. I kind of watched it go down.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've kind of answered that question. But let me rephrase it then. What would you say those three people brought to the table? Like, what was unique about those three people's contributions?
They were all totally unique contributions, so different from each other. And I think that's one of the things that led to the ultimate cocktail of the album being really interesting. All of them were there in support of me, and they weren't really trying to guide me.
So no ego, right?
I'm sure they have them, but they just didn't really enter the room on those days. And, Aaron Dessner is a man of few words, and he seems to be like an interesting kind of guy. Like, he's really curious about, and he seems really intrigued by people in transition. He saw that when I arrived in Long Pond on that first night. And I think he knew exactly the pieces to play, just based on what was coming off of me when I walked into that space. And then Andrew, like I said, we have this love and chemistry with each other, and it can be explosive at times. Sometimes we're just not doing anything. We're just scream laughing and ordering expensive sushi and just being total hedonists, about. And there's something really fun about the permissiveness and the chaos of being with him. And then Justin is a hero of mine. I quite idolize him and have loved Bon Iver music for as long as everyone else has loved it. So when he came into the room, when somebody like that comes into the room, especially late in the game, like Justin did, we were almost done actually when Justin turned up for the first time. It's like a lie detector test. It's like you have all these wires hooked to you.
I thought you were almost done. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't because Justin said we weren't done. It's because you have all these wires attached to you, these theoretical wires, and you feel the shock of embarrassment when you have phoned something in or when you haven't honored something fully all the way through. When somebody like that is listening to you when you're not ready for for everyone else to hear that thing. So he was that for us, I think, not just me, but for all of us. And they all brought all those elements. Andrew brings bombast, bravery, chaos. Aaron brings refinement, emotional intelligence, and even melancholy, even. And then Justin just brought me to attention in a way that was illuminating. Some things I thought were done were not done.
Right.
And then when he played on everything, that dude cannot pick up an instrument without innovating. He doesn't know how to do it. So as soon as he's playing something, no one else in the world could have played that thing. And he played on a lot of shit, and it's really, really special.
Yeah. I loved his contribution on the piano on The War with Time specifically. It's just so Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah. Have you heard Monique play that yet? She's been kind of navigating it. She's really got the vibe. Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the interesting questions from the viewers.
These are all interesting questions. More fan questions, less wise questions.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Diana says, Brandi, the visuals for the Returning to Myself video are so striking, particularly the location. Where was it shot and whose vision was it?
Ooh, why don't you answer that question, honey, since you've been so involved in all of that visual stuff.
Well, I mean, Floria Sigismondi directed it.
Sigismondi.
So it was
Holy Lord.
her vision, and she is a true artist. Watching her work was such a deep honor. It was fascinating to watch, specifically like a woman lead in the way that she led that crew and that production. I'm kind of in awe of
I know
her.
we have a major crush on Gloria.
Yeah, we do. Who doesn't? But the location, she scouted and found the location. Wasn't it like an abandoned cell?
Like cell tower? Yeah. And there was this
in
vertical
Malibu,
ladder
right?
that I had to climb all the way up to the top of it. And it was just straight up and down this ladder. And I got to the top of this tower, and I'm supposed to be up there alone, like I was alone. And I was like supposed to sort of, I don't know, not dance because I don't really dance, but
Like, you're supposed to do something.
Do things, twirl around and shit. And I got up there, and the floor I was standing on was a grate. You could see right to the bottom.
Oh, I know.
So I had to overcome some shit and just like dance for that drone. And
you got straight up on that ladder.
Yeah.
She had to sign a waiver. Literally, like, it's not our fault if she dies up there. But luckily, you came back down that ladder.
You think you took a life insurance policy out of me, right?
No, that video is, I would say that's my favorite video you've ever done. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I really agree. And the one that they haven't seen yet is really cool, too.
There might be another one. All right, Taylor. Taylor wants to know, you've talked about being alone in a crowded room. Can you teach me how to do that? My life is chaos. I feel like I have a lot in common with Taylor.
Yeah, if I could teach you how to do that, I would have taught her how to do that.
Yeah, I would love to know how to do that. How do you do that?
Why don't you tell them how I do that? You know me. What do I do if somebody comes to the door? First of all, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
And you are dying inside.
Brandi just doesn't really adjust to visitors. She carries on with whatever she's doing at any given moment, whether it's playing Zelda or cooking or, I don't know, cutting her toenails. Like, there's no...
I'll cut my toenails in front of anybody.
I'm British, so we have to know about a month in advance when our doorbell's going to ring. We have to have the right biscuits and the right tea bags, and everything's scheduled and planned. And
don't you British, like, you have to schedule a time to schedule?
Yeah, you do. You have to schedule it all. And I don't do well with unannounced visitors. Speaking of which, here's one right now. Hi, Mads. But Brandi just carries on. So it's actually a really unique skill, and I'm envious of it. But yeah, you've just been able to do that probably because of how you were raised, with lots of things happening all at once.
A lot of people living with us sometimes, coming in and out. Just lots of brothers and sisters, and just, also living in a small spaces. Yeah. And having to move a lot. Mm-hmm. You got to find ways to be content and be happy when the surroundings aren't ideal. And not that having somebody around isn't ideal.
Depends who it is.
It just, I don't know. I just think it just depends. It's just like, if you want to do something, do it. Mm-hmm. So like, if everybody's over for dinner, and the conversation's gone on long enough, I'm probably just going to go get in the shower. Or I may just go and play my piano.
You do realize if you play your piano, no one will leave though, right?
Well, it just depends on who it is.
Okay, let's do another question from the viewers here. Gina said, you've worked with so many legends in the lead up to putting this new album out. Presumably they've influenced your writing on Returning to Myself. I'm already hearing Joni on Returning to Myself. I agree.
I do too.
And you too, yes, on Church and State. Are there any other influences we can expect to hear on this album?
Oh, yeah. Definitely Emmy.
Yeah, we talked about Emmy.
Is a big influence. And you mentioned U2 on Church and State, but actually I hear and feel U2 throughout the album quite a lot. Mm-hmm. Mostly because there is this thing that happened to me while I was making playlists on this album for the Twins and for Andrew Watt, back when I thought we were going to be able to record it normally. Where as I dug back into like my youth in a way, it was like I have like a work ethic around music. I've always had a work ethic around music. I needed it to pay my bills when I was really young. When I moved out of my house and I got a little PA system and I started working on residencies and getting into restaurants and bars all week long. And that was how I paid for my rent. And that's how I fed my horse. And I was able to get a truck. And
Of course, you had a horse.
Yeah. So I made music into like work. I made music into work. And it didn't mean I didn't love it. It just meant that I had considerations beyond, does this move me? It was like, how's this going to go over in this restaurant tonight? Do I have enough up tempos in my set? What would it look like if I covered Third Eye Blind this week? You know what I mean? Like I was thinking along the lines of entertaining people. My music became a workman style, a work ethic related thing. But there was a time before that when music was not a job. And that was really young. That's when I was really young. And I'm remembering her a little bit. I think you put yourself at that age out of your mind for a long time because you're embarrassed, right? We're like all embarrassed about being 14, 15, 16.
Very tender
17,
age.
very tender age. But there's something about getting older and watching my own kids grow up to where I'm not embarrassed of that kid anymore. And I want that feeling back of that bedroom music before it was work.
Before it was a job.
Yeah. So what you're going to hear in terms of influences is what I was hearing before music was my job. And that's a returning to myself that is kind of at the heart of the whole thing. You're going to hear early Indigo Girls. You're going to hear Bonnie. You're going to hear Joshua Tree, Jeff Buckley, Muse, Pablo Honey specifically, in the Bends, early Coldplay. You're going to hear 90s music, and some of the Philadelphia soundtrack, a huge one for me. Also the City of Angels soundtrack.
Oh, I love both of those soundtracks.
Really whatever I could get my hands on. And then also whatever was on Lost Highway at the time, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road, and Ryan Adams, Bright Eye. It was honestly also, that's when I came into an understanding of Mary Chapin Carpenter, Sean Colvin, Kim Ritchie.
The great songwriters.
Especially Kim Ritchie at the time. The great greats. Tiff Merritt, Holly Figueroa, Dora Williams, like the Lilith Fair.
Well, if that didn't convince you to purchase this album, then I don't know what will, because all those people are incredible.
Yeah, and some are obscure. They're not things that come up in interviews or, overtly all the time, but I was able to get back to a little room in my mind.
All right, I'm doing it again. For those that have short memories, this is just a reminder. Just press the shop button on TalkShopLive or comment the word shop if you're watching Facebook or Instagram to receive a link in your DMs. Check those DMs to purchase a CD with a signed insert. And there's also, don't forget about the limited edition white vinyl. It's very, very cool. And get both.
Do you know what I like about hearing you do that?
What?
It reminds me of when we first met and you were doing voiceovers for extra money on the side. You were like,
this is not my voiceover.
What were some of the voiceovers you were doing? One of the things was called Jelly Babies, and they were like gummy bears, or like, but they called them Jelly Babies.
They don't compare to gummy bears.
Can you just do one line from Jelly
Superior
Babies?
in every
do
way.
one line from Jelly Babies.
No, because
or
that's
like,
a different voiceover voice that I'm not using right now. I'm
just
using
one line from Jelly Babies. I won't drop it. I won't drop
Live.
it. I think I won't drop it.
I
Just
can't
one.
remember what I said about Jelly Babies.
Jelly Babies. I think what was it? Just one line.
It was an
okay,
but it was better than yours.
Then do it.
Jelly Babies. I'm available for voiceover work.
She builds her own voiceover studio with
Yes.
pillows, baffles, and sheets.
I was a professional voiceover artist. Very few people know that about me. But it's right.
But
the
now
rumors
you
are
know.
true. Anyway, back to you.
Okay.
Wife question. You've called the process of making this album both painful and freeing. I can relate to that. What surprised you most about yourself while making this album?
I have to say, I was surprised during the process how indecisive I was.
I have to say, I was surprised by how indecisive you were. I've never quite seen you that way.
You didn't call me out on it.
Well, because I knew you were going through a thing, and it was actually really refreshing to see you really process in real time and not know what you were going into the studio to do, really.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why it took so long. I think I was so indecisive. I would decide I loved something, and then I would hate it 24 hours later. And most artists might say that that's how they feel, but I've just been so indecisive, or I've been so decisive and just forward moving for so long in my career that it was weird to have so much self-doubt. And I think I was always really worried about everyone else's feelings, because in the end I would decide and I would pick me every time. And it was hard. And so I'm feeling indecisive. I'm not sure what I want. I know I want to choose myself. And then eventually I would. So on top of the indecisiveness, I was just worried about how everyone was feeling all the time about being vetoed constantly.
Yeah, I think you were looking for permission to do it but still in collaboration with people, which is really hard. Really hard.
Yeah, I think I will learn more about who I was when I made this album as I talk about it more.
In retrospect.
Yeah, I don't fully know yet. And I don't know how I'll make the next one, but I know I need some time.
Just enjoy this one for a minute. We're enjoying it. Okay, let's do some more, because we're getting close to running out of time, but let's do some more viewer questions. Oh, this one's good. Jordan, what's the first thing you'll do the night the album comes out? Any traditions or rituals you keep before a big release? I know what I'll be doing.
I know what I'll be doing. I'm gonna have some drinks. I'm gonna sing some karaoke. I know that.
Is that it?
I think you should get absolutely shithoused.
Oh, I will be.
You should get absolutely turned.
And I will be sending flowers to every single person that it took to get this incredible album out into the world.
I know. So many people have worked so hard on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever been this excited to get one of your albums out.
Yeah.
It's anyway. I'm discerning. I do think it's the best album you've ever done.
Thanks, baby.
And I know these things. Let's see. Should we try and squeeze in a few more questions?
I think so.
Okay. Do I need to do one last reminder? I don't want to sound like a broken record, but
do another one. But do it in your voiceover.
Okay. Why don't you do it?
Everyone listen.
Here, look, you do it. Come on, you do it.
Should
in your
I do
voice.
it as you?
Do it. No, do it as you.
Just press the shop button on TalkShopLive or comment the word
God.
shop if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram to receive a link in your DMs to purchase a CD with a signed insert. There is also a limited edition white vinyl. Get both.
That's just not even close. It's not even close.
Do it in my accent, please.
Just press the shop button to TalkShopLive or comment the word shop if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram to receive a link in your DMs to purchase a CD with a signed insert. There is also a limited edition white vinyl. Get both. All right. Okay. I've got to pick a really good question to end on. Do I end on one of mine? Do I end on one of... No, I think I should end on one of theirs. Don't you think? Oh, there's two really good ones. If I can squeeze in.
Okay, I won't go.
Okay, hang on. Okay, I've got one last question.
Okay.
When you think about this record from years from now, what do you hope it represents in your body of work? And then I'm going to end with a very, very good question from Tyler.
What do I hope it recommends in my body of work?
Represents.
I hope it represents acceptance and affection for my younger self. I hope it represents me embracing the transition I'm in and the age that I am. I hope it represents the beginning of me deciding how to live the second half of my life.
Whoa.
Just little things like that.
That's deep. What are you planning on doing for the second half of your life?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Okay. All right, Tyler, I'm glad you're asking this. but I'm not sure we're allowed to really answer. But Tyler says, when are you going to tour this album?
Most of next year.
Okay, I better get my suitcase
I'm gonna make
packed.
it my life and the twins' lives, and we are about to hit the road and take the word to the people.
Cannot wait.
Get your suitcase packed, girl.
I will. I love packing. You know how I love packing, right?
Yep.
I'm a really good packer.
You kids ready to move on to a tour bus? You ready to move on to a tour bus?
Silence.
They need to talk about something in therapy.
Well, look, thank you everyone for joining us. This is so cool. I can't believe we've never done this before.
I know, we should do it more. You really are a good interviewer.
Well, I'm very interested in you.
Your American accent's
Lucky
horrific.
for you.
Instagram.
I don't know what talk. I don't say talk shop. I say
talk shop.
I say talk shop.
Talk.
There's a difference.
Talk shop.
I don't know what she's saying right now.